Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video, and we are flying out the J-34, so thank you all my members and Patreons, thank you all, it helps a lot, you have no idea guys. Make sure to subscribe, and let's get into it. So, yeah, today we are flying out the Hunter, which is the J-34, okay? This is technically a Hunter F-50, or F-52, I don't remember the exact number. Apparently it's an F-50, which is basically an export variant of the F4 Hunter, okay? So it is between the F1 and the F6, okay? So it is more powerful than the F1 in the engine capacity, but less than the F6. Not by much, but you can feel the difference a little bit, you know? It is a sluggish aircraft in general, so you can feel the difference in speed, just in the way that the energy retention is and stuff like that. Of course, you have the M9Bs, which helps a lot. You don't have an afterburner, but you kind of don't need for the airframe that you are fighting. And the engine itself, it's already a pretty amazing one, to be honest. So yeah. But still, I wanted to talk to you guys about this because this is an aircraft that is a very, very, very good one. And it is an aircraft that it is facing a difficult BR, okay? It is an aircraft that is very good, but it is kinda in the short stick department, in the BR department, okay? It is facing a lot of Su-25s, A-10s, and F-5s, MiG-21s, SPSs, and maybe sometimes Mirages, MFs, you know, SMTs. So it is a very difficult aircraft, okay? It really needs a new BR. I think if they increase the Su-25 BR, it already will help a lot, like a lot. But it's still, these other aircraft are pulling this aircraft to a higher BR, which makes it a very, very difficult aircraft to fly sometimes. So yeah, it's problematic. I still think that it is supposed to be a 9.0 aircraft, because it is comparable to a certain range of aircraft like the Sabre F40, for example. Of course, it's very different from the F40, but in the sense of what it is capable of, you know? It is capable of the same speeds, even though it is different. Obviously, it is faster than the F40, accelerates faster, it turns worse than the F40, but it has the M9s, you know, it is this kind of first, second generation aircraft, you know, and subsonic still, and has missiles, so I don't know. I think it's kind of unfair to some 8.0s to face this. The same way that it's kind of unfair to an 8.0 to face an F40 or the SL Mark V, for example. But it is even more unfair to see such a good aircraft like this to face all the time Su-25s with R60Ms, with A-10s, with M9Ls, F4s, all sorts of aircraft that you face, you know, a lot of MiGs and stuff like that. So it is an amazing aircraft, to be honest. It's a very, very fun aircraft to fly. I love the Hunter, and this version is just another one that it's very cool to have it. I always wished for a kind of a mid between the F1 and F6 variant of the Hunter, you know, or at least the version of the F6 without the SRAMs, maybe with the M9s or something like that, you know. So I always wished for something like that, but it is indeed having a lot of problems with this, okay? So don't expect to be a very easy aircraft to fly. If you have seen my MiG-21 base video, you will see that a lot of these Finnish aircraft, or at least in the Finnish sub-3, obviously the J-34 is a Swedish aircraft, but a lot of these aircraft that are in the Finnish Tech 3, they are facing problems with BRs, you know. The Vampire, I will do a video on it as well. I don't think I ever did a video on the Vampire, so yeah. I will do at the end of the week, I think, or the weekend. I don't know exactly when, but it is also facing some problems against 9.0 sometimes. But the Hunter is obviously the main problem here. It is the one that is facing the most advanced aircraft for its type, you know, for its BR at least, or something like that, you know. Still has the Aidens, obviously, very good cannon, but you have a short range. The M9s, they help a lot, but they're not perfect, as you know. They help you get kills, but many of the targets that you are facing have flares. So you really need to be careful on that specific thing. And as you see here, He barely got me with the R60. I don't know if in the video we will show, but I saw the R60 barely there, almost hitting me at 3,000 meters. So yeah, man, it's very, very dangerous. I mean, look at this. There's just nothing that I can do. I'm completely compressed. I'm fast to try to run away from the other missile. It's GG, you know. So yeah, it should be getting a 9.0 BR very, very soon, I think. Probably in the next BR. I mean, the thing is, if a certain aircraft is that bad, they normally change in the middle between the BR updates, you know. But to be honest, this aircraft is probably would get that attention. But to be honest, it's just a Hunter, and not a lot of people will play with this. So I guess we will probably take a while to see another BR for this aircraft, which is kind of sad because I was really excited about the Hunter F4 or the J-34, but it is just not capable to fight against supersonic missiles and stuff like that. I mean, it's a middle of this 50s aircraft. I mean, it's not supposed to fight an R60M or an A9L from the late 70s, you know? It really is not. So it doesn't matter what aircraft is using. I don't think it's... I mean, R60s, okay, you can kind of barely have, you know, a certain amount of grain of... of possibility there that you can actually run away from targets. But in normal... I mean, R60Ms and A9Ls are just too much, you know? But yeah, it's an aircraft that you have to be on the offensive kind of all the time, because if you get in a defensive position, it is going to be hard. As you see here, an F1 got on my 6, and it is, I mean, eventually he will turn away, but it is hard to fight against this aircraft. But because remember, the Hunter is made to be kind of an interceptor, early 50s interceptor, you know. Not exactly that, but it tends to be more of an interceptor than a light fighter. So it is a large aircraft and a sluggish aircraft that it goes very fast for the time, you know. So it doesn't turn well. It really does not turn well, this aircraft, compared to most aircraft that you fight. The objective of the Hunter was to be fast compared to other aircraft from the time, you know, MiG-15s and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the thing. You don't turn better than them. You don't accelerate better than them because they have afterburners and stuff like that. You have basically just two very kind of weird missiles to use in this BR, not that great anymore, right? It is usable, but not that, you know, it's difficult. And you are facing missiles that can get you from all aspects, and missiles that can turn 30 Gs, and with aircraft that are faster than you and have better, proper radars that can spot you and or stuff like that. It is a difficult aircraft to fly. I would stay away from it for now. I don't like to just in day 1 of the patch or day 2 of the patch already say this, you know. But I think we should be kind of careful with this aircraft. Just kind of stay away from it. It is a fun aircraft, but not in the current BR. It is suffering a lot in the current BR. Every single match that I played, it is an up tier. You will eventually get a down tier, but it is like 1 or 2 out of 10. It is not a very susceptible or just a very easy BR to fly in right now. Any aircraft that it is in 9.3, but even a MiG-21, for example, that it is a 9.3, like the PFM or the F-13, they have the speed to deal with problems. They have the turn rate, and, you know, you can deal with problems. This one, you are kind of hoping that they don't look at you. If an A-10 decides to look at you and he's close enough, you're dead. Because you're not going to be able to run from the missile. And basically that's it. If you try to outrate them on a dogfight or something like that, you will end up losing. If you try to outrun them, as I said, missiles. So there is basically nothing you can do against some of these aircraft. A 9.0 aircraft would be facing more advanced aircraft. You would face MiG-19s, MiG-21s. You would face these sorts of aircraft, even the Su-25, if the Su-25 doesn't get another, BR. But at least 50% of the time you would get a down tier, and with that, you know how it is. it is going to be very, very fun to fly, you know? So yeah, basically this is it, guys. As I said, try to stay away from it if you have to get it, and try to fly it. But it is a hard aircraft, you know? It's one of those ones, you know? Not because of the aircraft itself, but due to the BR, okay? So yeah, it's a victim of the uptiers, right? It's something problematic to see. But yeah, as you see here, A10 look at me, he was close enough, fired a missile, nothing I can do. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, guys, and I see you guys on the next one. So bye, guys. See you.